That's a really interesting space right now because it's basically recasting how we write and read news or stories. And I really find that pretty fascinating because it's a real huge departure from how we've done things historically. So it's going to be a very interesting space to sort of see how is story writing and story reading really going to be reinvented, and how long will it take for people to sort of accept the fact, if they do accept the fact, that the context is now put on the side or in different places for people. It's a non-linear experience. It's intriguing to see what people do when they have a chance to sort of do things in a very different way, and especially with the younger creators at the MIT Media Lab, they think about media in totally different ways than I did, and probably because I spent 30 years in the business and my ways are a little bit set, so they just think about it in a very, again, it's a non-linear fashion, way of thinking, and they're just more interested in sort of picking up the news as they can get it, and they're not interested in reading traditional news stories for the most part because they're boring or whatever. So they're sort of reinventing news stories in what they feel is a more exciting way, exciting, dynamic way. Most news sites now get 50% of their visitors from phones, and I'm a typical user. I take the train in the morning and I just sit there on my phone the whole hour commute basically, and so that just really changes how you visit sites. I mean, your front page is very different looking. How you get to news is very different now. I mean, the percent of people come in through Facebook or Twitter probably goes from 25 to 50% at every news organization out there, which means that their front pages are much less important now. So it's just a very, very different consumption patterns for news because of mobile. Mobile has changed the game totally. The winner is really mobile at this point, and it's pictures. Yeah, people like pictures. People like video, short videos, at least when they're on the trains, because I think it can be a little bit disruptive. But I mean, the winners have been people who've been able to sort of figure out how to do news in short fashions and relatively small bites. Again, it's sort of the atomization effect, because it's just a very difficult thing to sit and do long-form reads on a train or while you're standing at the bus stop or while you're waiting in line at the grocery store. Instead, you just want to look very, very quickly at stuff. Long-form journalism is not dead. There's plenty of people doing it, there's plenty of people reading it, but it may go through a lot of changes because of contextualization, because there's a lot of interesting ways to take a 10,000-word story and essentially turn it into a 5,000-word story with a lot of context on the sides. It's going back to the 1830s, 1840s when people had to learn how to rewrite stories, to write stories, and they invented the inverted pyramid style of writing. So now we're going back to a very different way of writing. People have to figure it out all over again, how to do it best, figure out the best ways of doing this. I hope so. I got a lot of friends out there who are in journalism. Yeah, they'll figure it out eventually. It's going to take a while, but they'll figure it out.